Welcome to another episode of the Weed News.
I'm your host, Mike Cannon.
This is our first post-Halloween episode. I'm jazzed up on a lot of candy. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if my foot fell off right now. And what a segue into our first topic. Denver officials say they've received no medical reports of any children accidentally ingesting any kind of weed candies as police initially warned. Seriously, when did Nancy Grace get hired as a Denver PD? What adult that values money is gonna purchase edibles and then hand them out for free to children? I understand buying razor blades because they're 8 cents for a pack of 100. I even understand sedatives. Sure, they're just as expensive as weed edibles, but sometimes kids are flailers, you understand? So to get them to stop moving all their limbs, you have to give them a healthy dose of GHB, right? How else are you gonna rape them? In our next story, a $20,000 Hermes, I've just been told it's a Hermes bag known as the Birkin, not to be confused with the wig I wear on my cock. Let's have a fro grow up from the bottom and just moths fly out. It's garnered several complaints because it smelled of pungent marijuana. Apparently consumers would rather the bag smell like the rotting skin of a bald eagle, right? That's the only way this bag has a $20,000 price tag. If I were to buy this bag, I swear to God, the bald eagle's beak better be popping out the front and the inside is lined with George W. Bush's suit that he wore the morning of 9/11. Also, I've said it once and I'll say it again. Weed smell is absolutely fantastic. The only reason I wouldn't want my bag to smell like pot is because it would constantly put me in the mood to smoke while also reminding me that I spent every last dollar I had on this shitty bag. Time for my favorite segment of the week, Toker Tech. I want a giant robot dick coming up from the bottom and then shooting a load all over the sign and it turns into our graphic. I know that was a prick move of me to do to our graphics guy, but you know, fuck you, you piece of shit. That teaches you for working for free. I love you, thanks. We really couldn't do this without you. This week, we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna teach you how to make your own Watergate. I understand people call it different things. Let's just agree that it's a retard maker. First things first, you take a 2-liter bottle, you burn a hole in the bottom that's about the size of a dime. You then take a cap, you circle out the cap, you cut a hole in it, you take a socket wrench, you take some putty, you seal it up, you plug the burned hole with a piece of your finger, and then you fill the bottle with water, screw the cap right on, fill it with your herbal substance, and then burn it just like you would a bowl and release the water. The water drains out and also fills the entire 2-liter bottle with smoke as you have the flame to your herb. Once it's filled, you unscrew the tap, take a giant hit as if you're sucking in the fart of a king, and just blow it out and you'll be cross-eyed in no time. As if you're sucking in the fart of a king. Seriously, I've never been higher than while... Only time I've ever been higher is by taking a rising shoddy. Have you guys ever done that? You start in a crouch position like you're catching for your local bathhouse, and then your buddy has the reverse joint in his mouth, and as you guys rise up, he's blowing a shoddy into you, but it's not over yet. You hold in that hit, cross your arms, and he cracks your back. Not only do you get high, but you kind of pass out for a minute, and my friend Jimmy knows your head typically hits a flower pot. I would recommend all of you college kids to make this. It's super cost effective. You know, you use barely any weed and it gets you absolutely stoned to the gills. Honestly, it makes you a little bit uncomfortable, so if you have any social duties whatsoever, I don't recommend you doing it before those. But if you only want to see the stars for an evening, by all means, kick yourself in the dick with a little bit of the Watergate. And now for our third installment of the What to Watch While Weeded, the 1993 classic, Man's Best Friend. Let's take a look. This movie is an absolute masterpiece. It's about a Frankenstein dog, a dog that can change colors like a chameleon, climb trees like a leopard, and piss acid like me after a questionable hookup. I saw this movie one night at 3 a.m. by chance when I was 12 years old, just surfing for titties on the Howard Stern show, and I swear to God I've thought about it minimum once a week ever since. PETA, don't get pissed, this animal doesn't exist, but I swear to God if it did and I had the chance to kill it, I would murder it in front of your CEO and eat it raw. Well, that's it for another episode of the Weed News, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, please subscribe. over here. It's down here somewhere. There's clickable links all over this motherfucker. You know what? Put one on my tits. Grow my tits out a little bit, graphics guy. I know you're furious with me, but guess what? This is what makes the show. It's me, my God-given talent, and your fucking half-ass work. I'm just kidding. That's what happens when I love somebody. I tend to push them away before they hurt me. Listen to my podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. You've heard it before. It's about consciousness, corruption, conspiracy. It's a delight when you want to just kind of figure out if children actually died during Sandy Hook. Yes, that's a real conspiracy that I was not aware of until we had a 51-year-old truther come on that said, there's no way, all of them, none of them existed, even though my girlfriend's cousin went there. All right, this certainly ended on a dark note. Regardless, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hasta mañana. Nope, next week, however you say that. I don't pay attention, even though that's a huge emerging language in our culture.